How's everyone going? Welcome back to another Courage 99, a model railways review opening unboxing video. Well, you know the title, so we know what it is. And yeah, this video is already about 2 weeks late, so let's get on to it. So welcome back everyone. So time for another opening unboxing video. We've gone straight to manual focus, so hopefully everything stays in focus this time. But yeah, so what is it? Obviously it's the Phoenix Reproductions Victorian Railways D3 class locomotive. This is actually, I have to admit one thing, I have already opened it. This is actually not the first one I acquired, because the first one had to go back for warranty reasons. We'll have a small chat about that after we've opened the box. So let's have a look at the inside. We have it's locomotive number D3639, the B variant in Canadian Red, or Aus Steam's 88 Canadian Red, which is apparently slightly inaccurate to the original Canadian Red, but for its time was correct. But honestly, still looks nice though. Let's open, and the artwork is fantastic. Love the artwork of this. And yeah, it's a pretty nice box. It's even got your finger holes like the Ixon models J's. So that to the side. We've got our breakdown sheet. That's pretty much all that comes with it, and our basic instruction stuff. So I don't know why I showed it to the camera. I know I usually put a thing, so there will be a pop-up while on screen. Well, phone protection. Alright, so there's our D3 in there. You got your two sections, your engine and your tender. You've also got a few detail parts. You've got a chain link coupler to sit on, I assume it sits on the front, and this little component was actually in the model itself. No idea where it came from. There'll be a close-up of it, of course, if anyone has an idea where that's supposed to be on this, because that fell off when we were having checks of it at the shop. So yeah, that's the component refitted. Just a little bit glue, that's all that was really needed. So yeah, time to continue on with the rest of the video. Let's bring the two components out of the box, and we'll move the containment aside. Start off with the tender. Apparently people like to start with the tender first. This is actually, so this tender is the original tender from my original model. So I already know it's pretty much well and truly there. Everything is there. So yeah, that's the tender. And we've got our locomotive, which is jammed. That's great. It's actually stuck in the box. And this is, yeah, so there we go. Awesome. Well, that's our D3. Let's again put it on the rolling table and let's take a closer look. And we'll also have a chat as part of the first impressions, what occurred on the first model that I acquired. Alright, here we go. So we'll take a look at a close-up of each component on its own in a moment, but first things first, we'll just have a quick spin with both of them semi-connected. They're not fully connected yet, but they're semi-connected. It's just to stop the bloody tender from rolling away, that's all. So yeah, it looks like a lot bit of a model. Let's have a chat about what's happened. So we'll have some footage from the original unboxing, pop them on screen while I talk. So the model actually, the model actually arrived with me about 2 weeks ago, but it has been waiting for a warranty claim due to a few slight issues in the piston shaft on not the one of the connecting rods. They would connect straight into the piston on the left hand side of the model. So if I spin our model, it will be that one just there. It was actually well, it wasn't attached, and the component underneath it had fell off, so there were also a whole lot of micro scratches on it, and the white metal was also rusting on the back of the up the back, which was also really odd. So don't know how any of that happens, because that's not sure. That's the tender is the original tender from my original model, because the original also the new one came in and seemingly had some postage defects of the walkways, what's it called, the stairs were had snapped. So I'm not having much luck with the with this model, obviously, but yeah, hopefully we've got something that works now. Alrighty, here we go. Let's have a look, and let's have a nice look at the front. So as we can see, well, now that we have a working piston thing, it looks a lot better. Yeah, it looks very nicely detailed. Obviously, what you expect for a model which costs over 600 Australian dollars. Yeah, it's looks accurate. There's a staff exchanger fit on this particular model. Two versions had it. Both of the 639 models have a staff exchanger, because during its years as a commissioner's engine and during its years in its early years in heritage, it had a staff exchanger fitted. That was, however, that has been removed in, I'm pretty sure it's been removed in modern times though, so modern variants won't have a staff exchanger. There was no modern variant of D3639 though. We've got our some very nice cab detail we can see over there, and we have our 6-pin plug, which from what I've heard is a better plug than that of being used on the Exxon J's, but we'll have a look at the connecting of that later on. Spinning to the other side, we've got more of our stuff, more random details on the model. Of course, I didn't center it on the table, so it's not going to be, there we go. So yeah, you got more little components. You got your Westinghouse air pump on the right. Yeah, and I don't know exactly what the other stuff is. And you got your name tag, nameplate, Spirit of Ballarat, spelt in the current Ballarat, not AA. Alright, so back onto the front. We've even got our Steam Hour badging, which is really nice. It's the only model which has it. And I should also quickly note, we do have sprung buffers on the front and the tender. Yeah, so let's quickly swap over to the other one, and then so we can actually get a move on. Alrighty, here's the tender. Let's hope it doesn't roll too far away while I'm rolling it around. So again, it's very, there's rivets all over the tender, which is nice. Very nicely detailed as expected. You got your rotating bogies, proper rotating bogies. You got your number plate. It is, from what I hear, it's an etched number plate. I'm not 100% sure. I can't see from here. So I'm looking through a camera, obviously. You got your lights. Your DCC socket is in the tender on this model. It's a 21-pin DCC socket. Again, your buffers. You got your scale size NEM couple, not NEM, knuckle couplers from if I record, they should be genuine KDs, most likely. Not 100% sure, of course. You got your details on top. You even got some coal in it, unlike from what I saw from the Exxon models J's, which you have to put your own coal in, which is fine, of course, but it's nice to have something there to go, even though it's a bit plasticky. But yeah, it looks nice. Very bright, outstanding colour. You can even see the V-line car carrier in the background is nowhere near as bright as the Canadian Red that was on the Aus Steam 88 version. So yeah, anyhow, I think it's time for the history component, and then we'll have a nice we'll put the two things together and then have a nice close look at all the details and the features of the model. The Victorian Railways D3 class locomotives were built between 1902 and 1920 as the DD class, where 261 were constructed from various companies, namely VR's Newport, Ballarat, North and Bendigo Workshops, Baldwin Locomotive Works, Bayer Peacock, Walkers Limited, Thomson's Limited and the Phoenix Foundry, although the majority were built at Newport. Some of the class were adapted into tank locomotives. These were classified as the DDE class. The class saw service from 1902 to 1964. During their time of operation, they were split into the D1 and D2 classes during the 1920s. After the success of the K-class locomotives, modifications were made to 94 of the 261 D1/D2 class locomotives, forming the D3 class with a larger boiler and superheaters. These were classified as light mixed traffic locomotives, so they could be seen handling various jobs around the Victorian Railways network. 11 of the D3 classes made it into preservation, while only one remains operational during the preservation era. The locomotive D3639 was built in Newport Workshops in 1919 as DD1043, later known as DD751. She became a D2 and when reclassified and eventually rebuilt as D3639 in 1937. She was utilised as the Commissioner's locomotive from 1950 until 1956, when the locomotive was found to be uneconomical for repairs, after which the numbers were switched with locomotive D3658, which took on the role until replaced by a Y-class diesel in 1964. The current D3639, formerly D3658, and originally DD586 of 1903, still operates today, with Steam Rail Victoria undertaking mainline trips across Victoria, currently withholding her Commissioner's livery, as was used through the latter life of it when it was in service with the Victorian Railways. So the features of the model are they are die-cast boiler, frame and footplate, so it's not actually white metal, it's die-cast. Genuine KDs on the tender end. I'm pretty sure the front coupler doesn't work. Separately applied boiler details, working LED lights, standard 21 pin, and utilizes a minimum of 18 inches of radius. It also has a keep alive circuit fitted, which is it's toggleable by a switch on the bottom of the tender. So yeah, let's have a nice quick look at some of its details. We can see that's what the front looks like. Looks a lot of little bits of detail on it. Looks very, very nice, obviously. You've got a very nice and thin front cow catcher. There's a few slight defect paints on the front wheel, which is interesting, but that's only minor. Moving along, you got our Stephenson's valve gear connecting rods. One of the few engines which still are in service, probably one of the last mainline heritage locomotive which still has Stephenson's valve gear, with the others being the puffing belly NAs, obviously in Australia. This is of course talking about in Victoria. Internationally, there's obviously still other Stephenson's valve gear locomotives, but this is in terms of Victorian Railways. You got your air compressor on the side. You got your nice dome. You got your whistles, and you've got your cab, which I'll have a proper cab shot now. As I say, you got your staff exchange. You've even got your builder's plate. Let's see if my focus will not work on it. It should say something about being, I think it was 1906 when the original DD class was built for D3658 was. I think it was 1906, 1903. Don't quote me on that. That would have been in the history section, and I can't remember what it was. You got your lamp irons and stuff. On modern day ones, I'm pretty sure there is a headliner fitted to the rear. like where the top lamp iron is, they would have stuck a headlight on it. But obviously in the day they wouldn't have had headlights on this, because you wouldn't really have them running tender first, even though these were mixed traffic locomotives, predominantly for passenger though. You got your handrails, nice riveting again. And again, your Westinghouse air brakes, your name plates are fitted, and your number plates are, sorry, not your number plates, your number plates, and headboard steam rail. It's kind of weird though that the headlight is actually in slightly sideways, which is this is not the first one I've seen that. Even the J had that. So yeah, that's a nice looker. And yeah, let's obviously jump over to the layout, have a look at how she operates. We'll of course have a quick component to the camera on on how the tender connection works. Alrighty, same like the J-Class video, I'm just going to use the camera mic for this section. So we're going to have a go at coupling up the tender. Just before we do that, I dug a bit deeper into the box and realised there's one of these in the box. It looks like spare tender bogies, which is nice, which is kind of interesting because the tender bogies are brown on those and they're black on the spares. Oh no, sorry, that's a replacement pony truck. I didn't read on the instruction manuals as usual. Kind of odd because it feels like they're a whole lot smaller than those on the main ones, but sure, sorry, that's why. It's so they'll operate on on anything smaller than 24-inch radiuses. In any case, you've also got your keep alive switch just down there. So attaching the tender should be pretty simple from what the instructions say anyways. It is just to line the sockets up on a straight piece of track and then push them in. Anyways, let's hope the focus stays in focus while I attempt to do this, as I'm going to hit the camera a few times doing this as well. So assume just lining the pins up and then pushing together. I assume that the pin's lined. Yeah, that's the pins lined up. And just pushing together. There we go. Very, very nice. Actually, that's a very nice connection, and it's secure. It feels really, really secure, which is really, really good. So there we go. That's the D3 connected. Let's jump over to the layout. What we're going to do is running in during the middle of the day. Unfortunately, the Decision E-cars should have arrived already, but they also haven't at the time of filming. So those would have been great to run with it, but oh well, we'll find something else to run with it. Let's jump over to the layout. Alrighty then. I probably should really stop having such a big area for the for putting the thing on. So I'm just going to move the camera slightly to a more directed area. There we go. And then we'll move the camera when the thing's already on. So let's put the D3 just off to the side as usual. Let's just pop it onto the tracks. It's got a lot of wheels. As I say, it's already been coupled up, which means it's also going to be a fun thing. And here we go. That should be it on. Right. So we'll get to waddle backwards and forwards as usual. We're going to zoom out as well and curve the camera around so that we have a bit more track to run on. A lot quieter and a lot smoother than the previous model. You can see the headlight works on this end. I'm not sure about the other end though. It's also a yellow headlight, which is good. No lights on the rear, which should have been expected. So yeah, that's a very. I think I'm happy after all those issues with trying to find what. Oh no, there are lights on the rear. Yeah, after everything, finally having a model which works is absolutely brilliant. Alright, I think we can let it go on our running in. Let's, of course our running in speed is about 45-50% on the controller. So yeah, let's get some running shots. Alrighty then, so that's that. We've finished its running in. Dogs are going mad outside, but oh well. Yeah, she's ran quite flawlessly. Only a little problem I was having was the tender bogie was coming off, like on every second loop, the front bogie. So that means there's not much cornering on between the engine and the tender. Didn't have a single problem with the front bogie though on the 18-inch curve, which is running on this loop. Random also another thing is that front coupler, not that it's a real coupler, it's a fake coupler, kept on swinging around like mental, which is kind of funny. Pretty sure in real life that would have been locked in position anyways, but what can you do? So yeah, I think we're going to wait till the sun has finally fully set so that we can have a bit better lighting for the final part. We'll fade into the darkness. Alright, we are back. It is now more than the evening, honestly. It's a daylight savings. Sun stays up till like 8:30 now, so we've had to wait for a bit longer. So it's now the room lights being utilised as lighting for everything. So yeah, D3's just basically been sitting there. If it was real life, it would be just simmering, but we're just going to push her back. It will go on and couple up to a little box van thing, a train of trains, of wagons that I have for it. These are bogied wagons, so not 100% prototypical for its operation. It would have used predominantly four-wheel stock. But that's what I have on the way out at the moment, and most of the four-wheel stuff has been put away after how many delays that this model took to actually get here. So yeah, so we'll run it with some of those, and eventually we'll have a future running video of just the layout running, which will hopefully have it behind some either passenger carriage or something proper for it. Let's push it back. Okie dokie, so yeah, I've just put together, say, basic train full of my bogie freight wagons anyways. Should be a decent load for it. The single J could run it, so it couldn't reverse up the hills, but it could just pull it. So hopefully the D3 should be able to handle it. It feels like it's a bit more powerful than the J's. So yeah, I guess we'll let her head off. We'll just get some running shots around, yeah, and then we'll have our conclusion at the end. Anyways, I think that's probably enough of running shots to give you an idea of the performance anyways, especially for an initialization unboxing review instead of a... Seeing that these are no longer being named the review, so we will come back eventually with a proper review. So, what can I say with this initialization? It's honestly, well, pretty well expected actually. It runs a lot nicer than the, when I say nicer, I mean quieter than the J's. Unfortunately the J's are currently the only Australian model steam locomotives that we can compare to, but in any case, she operates really nicely. Price wise, obviously they're expensive. Pretty much all Australian models are expensive, and no exception of the steam engines. So we're going to quickly just bring her into a stop because this is actually getting quite hard to follow. So just hold her up there. So yeah, runs very nicely, has very good slow speed operation as we can already see. Can haul a decent weight train, which is actually pretty good because even the real ones did struggle with heavier trains. So it's as long as it can carry something based on what it can do in real life is pretty good. Details there, unfortunate of the problems I had earlier, but thanks to the shop who I purchased on Metro Hobbies Tour, getting all that sorted out nice and quickly in terms of warranting the old model and stuff like that. So yeah, otherwise than that, I think everything else is pretty self-explanatory. There looks great. A few little minor paint issues like on the wheel, and the fact that the steam rail badging should have blacks on each side. But other than that, great performer. And yeah, so of course we'll come back and revisit the model in say 2 to 3 months. That will be, and we will. That's my intention, anyways, unless anything else happens. And yeah, thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed this opening, unboxing, initialization review. Hopefully join you all again for another one of these, and hopefully for the future of the model railway section of Commission 8. Catch you all next time.